We went to the side. Whoa! Arman! Just keep him in there.
That's it, that's it, that's it, that's it, that's it, that's it. Wow. Wow. Oh, wow. Oh, my gosh.
The words left his mouth, tearing into Ilia Topuria's post-fight actions with a brutal honesty rarely heard in MMA. Accusations of childish energy and blatant attempts to steal the headlines from Arman Tsarukyan's dominant win over Dan Hooker ignited an immediate firestorm. The critique escalated, labeling Topuria's behavior as nothing short of little dick energy, driven by a desperate need to show the world I'm tough, when in reality, no one needs to see you be tough. It was a raw, unfiltered moment, exposing deep-seated tensions and a startling lack of respect. This wasn't just about a win, it was about the shocking clash of egos that instantly redefined the lightweight division's landscape, propelling Arman into an unforeseen spotlight. The implications were immediate and severe.
I went up to Tsarukyan. I congratulated him. I went up to Kamza. I said, hey, champ, what's up? When are we going to see you back? He goes, I don't know, brother. Whenever. Smash. All right, cool. Sweet. Slaps me on the back. I'm like, all right, cool. Security guard gets in front of us. I'm like, we literally were just cool with each other. He's not going to fight me. And then that childish energy comes out. Yeah, f you, brother. F you. Boom. Tries to push me. I just turned around and went, you're meant to be a champion of this sport. You're a child. You're taking away from your friend's win over here. How about you calm down, slow down, and have a bit of respect for your friend over here rather than trying to steal the headlines. Do you want the honest truth? It's little dick energy. I need to show the world I'm tough. I need to show you're the champion of the world. No one needs to see you be tough. You don't need to have these anger management issues. Just be a man. Sorry. I'll get him one day. We're all going to try grab a hold of my legs. Born little. I'm not going to get. Don't get me started.
It might have had an extended time away, but he got some right away.
Wow.
And he looks
Wow, great fight by Arman Tsarukyan.
Are you a little bit disappointed that this week Ilia didn't seem to want to have anything to do with you?
I mean, I didn't want to mention too much Ilia because I was focused on my fight. But after today, I'm gonna try to again create some crazy videos that are gonna be viral and try to make a joke, you know, and to bring a lot of eyes for that fight because it's like a media sport too, you know. You gotta be a good fighter and a good showman. Hopefully on Tuesday they announced that fight and me fighting main event with Topuria when it's gonna be in Vegas or in Los Angeles. So I'm ready. I gotta take that chance and I have pretty time to get ready. In my mind goes like I can strike with him on the long distance, but whenever he wants to try like to box me and throw his hard punch at that moment, I'm gonna shoot and take him down. So, and I believe myself and I know I can beat him so easy as well.
You didn't take a lot of damage tonight. Is there a chance if they said to you, hey, you can fight for the belt, but it has to be in January, could you turn around that fast?
Of course, I can rest 1 week, fly to US and stay there 2 months. It's enough time to get ready, and I didn't get any injured, thank God, and they have to say that, and hopefully on Tuesday they announced that fight and me fighting main event with Topuria when it's gonna be in Vegas or in Los Angeles. So I'm ready. I gotta take that chance and I have pretty time to get ready.
Okay, so here's the thing, guys. This is actually a gift from the gods for the UFC. Like, this has all worked out so perfectly for them because, look, Ilia hasn't fought since June. he should be ready to go. Paddy very clearly is ready to go. He hasn't fought since April, his win over Michael Chandler. The best way, we continue to say, of the people available, the best way to debut the Paramount Plus era in 2026, first show of 2026, rumored to be at T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas, January 24th. I'm calling it a PLE numbered event. You know, they're going to keep those, you know, title fights on the number of events we suspect. The best way to start this is Ilia versus Paddy. You just had Arman win, look good. He's now the number one guy. He's waiting in the wings. You bring him out there, and yet you keep this train rolling along. I'm sorry, there is zero momentum towards a Justin Gaethje title fight against Ilia Topuria. And now that Arman did what he did, I think he completely knocked Justin out of the way. There is zero interest, zero momentum. I would sign up for Arman versus Ilia right now. But I think you have Paddy there. You want to strike while the iron is hot. He's ready to go. He hasn't fought since April. It's going to be almost a year since his last fight by the time this January date comes along. Do Ilia versus Paddy. You saw the little run-in. You see the animosity there. Do that in January. Have Arman in the front row. He fights the winner. And now the lightweight division is back rolling like it was when Islam was champion.
He's going head and arm. One of his best moves, head and arm choke. And it's deep. God, that's GG's. That is GG's, I think. Oh, God, look at his head. Not good. Not good. Tsarukyan's a beast. Wow.
Performance was crazy like we accept. I knew it's gonna be finished, but I wanted to wait, so don't say that. I would try. I like we accepted, you know. So Arman is the best, so he's the number one. He's the champion. He's the athlete. So I believe this guy is one of the best fighters in the world. He has to fight for them.
The professional MMA world erupted in awe over Arman's performance, with immediate reactions like "wow," "oh wow," echoing through commentary booths. Many pros were left speechless by the sheer dominance displayed, quickly labeling Tsarukyan as a fucking beast, whose in-cage performance was nothing short of crazy. This wasn't just a win, it was a statement. The ferocity and control he exerted over a respected veteran like Dan Hooker left no doubt in anyone's mind about Arman's elite status. His victory wasn't just impressive, it was terrifyingly efficient, sending a clear message to the entire lightweight roster. The division had a new undeniable force.
If Arman Tsarukyan goes out there and gets it done relatively quickly in impressive fashion, it helps the case of Ilia, you need to stay down, let's defend this belt now because you are the champion here.
If he's able to rip the playbook off of what Islam was able to do, I will say Arman Tsarukyan within 2 rounds submission.
It's a tough one, but based on how Arman Tsarukyan has looked since the loss to Islam Makhachev, it's hard to believe that this man can't go out there and get the job done.
The controversy surrounding Topuria's behavior continued to escalate, painting a picture of a champion unwilling to share the spotlight, even with a potential future rival. The analyst's blunt assessment, "just be a man," cut deep, challenging Topuria's maturity and sportsmanship. It highlighted a stark contrast between a fighter focused on his craft and another seemingly preoccupied with external validation. This public scolding, broadcast to millions, wasn't just a personal jab, it exposed a potentially volatile dynamic at the very top of the lightweight ranks, hinting at deeper personal animosities. The respect or lack thereof between these top contenders became a central talking point.
The number one contender that needs a win in the division, and that's why I chased this fight and I asked for this fight, and I nagged the UFC to give me this fight, is because I knew no one between myself and Arman Tsarukyan would want to fight Arman Tsarukyan, because they got a good excuse to avoid him. You know, he did pull out of that fight with the bad back, and so the champion and guys, the bigger name guys in the division like Gaethje, they have a good excuse to not fight him. I believe it's because he is the most skillful fighter in the division. But these other guys have a good reason to not fight him, and I knew that with a win over Arman Tsarukyan, I get to jump the queue. I get to jump from outside the top 5 to the number 1 contender in the division.
Arman's explosive victory didn't just cement his #1 contender status, it completely reshuffled the lightweight title picture, effectively knocking Justin Gaethje out of the way for a shot at Ilia Topuria. Analysts declared zero interest, zero momentum for a Gaethje title fight, a stark reality after Arman's performance. The landscape shifted dramatically in a single night, sidelining a popular contender and creating a direct, undeniable path for Arman. This unexpected turn meant the UFC brass had a fresh, compelling narrative on their hands, one that promised high stakes and explosive matchups for the immediate future. The old guard was being pushed aside.
Dan Hooker's one of my favorite fighters in the UFC, but I'm going to go with Arman Tsarukyan here over Dan Hooker. I do think Dan Hooker's being underrated here because even though people say, the Gamrot fight was a robbery, it was a close fight that could have gone either way, really. Do I think Gamrot could have won? And if Gamrot had Ov at the end of his name, he probably would have won based on the control time that he had. Let's just call it what it is. But Dan Hooker's really good at, like, stuffing he's a lot better at it than he was before when it comes to scrambling up from takedowns. But also with Gamrot,
a gift from the gods is how one analyst described the new tantalizing possibility of an Ilia Topuria versus Paddy Pimblett super fight to kick off the Paramount Plus era in 2026. With Arman now patiently waiting in the wings for his shot, the stars align perfectly for this rumored January 24th event at T-Mobile Arena. The existing animosity and little run-in between Topuria and Pimblett, combined with their respective fan bases, created an irresistible narrative for a pay-per-view blockbuster. This matchup promised to strike while the iron is hot, maximizing the buzz and setting up an even bigger clash with Arman down the line. The UFC had a clear path to unprecedented height.
I think he's better at, like, implementing dominant positions on top, and Gamrot had them a lot on Dan Hooker in their fight, and Hooker just broke his arm again twice, right? 2 broken arms back to back. Coming back into this one, if he wins, you can think about a title shot maybe if he makes the right call out, and he's a big name and he's big and he's tall and he's got reach, and maybe he sets up the knee on Arman. And Arman has had some stinkers. Arman had the Joaquim Silva performance where it wasn't the best. He got wobbled. But I think he's going to be able to take down Dan Hooker. And I don't think he's as lost on the feet as we suggest. And I think he's actually going to finish him in round 2 or 3 from the mount with ground and pound. That's where I think Arman's better than Gamrot at with the grappling, is taking a dominant position and actually doing something with it. And even on Oliveira,
despite the intense fight, Arman confirmed he sustained no injuries and could make a remarkably quick turnaround for a title shot as early as January. His ambition was palpable, stating he could rest 1 week, fly 2 years, and stay there 2 months to get ready. Furthermore, Arman revealed his strategic plan to create some crazy videos that are going to be viral specifically to hype a potential fight with Topuria, acknowledging that it's like a media sport too. This proactive approach underlined his eagerness and understanding of the modern fight game, showing he's not just a fighter but a masterful self-promoter, ready to seize his moment.
This is like a kind of risky fight for me because I have something to lose, but for Hooker, nothing to lose. If he loses to me, he said, yeah, okay, I'll lose to #1 contender. But for me, it's 3 steps back. That's why I'm very motivated and ready to beat him.
Arman's confidence in facing Ilia Topuria was unwavering, declaring, "I know I can beat him so easily as well." He outlined his strategy, explaining he could strike with him on the long distance, but if Topuria dared to try to box me and to throw his hard punch at them, I'm going to shoot and take him down. This detailed game plan showcased not only his belief in his own diverse skill set, but also a keen analytical understanding of Topuria's strengths and weaknesses. It wasn't just bravado, it was a tactical blueprint for victory, delivered with an almost chilling certainty. The challenge was laid bare.
Yeah, Islam moved, but if I beat all records here in 155 to be a champion and defend as much as possible, and then yeah, probably I'm gonna think about the move division. But right now, 2-3 years, I wanna stay here and beat the all records in 155.
Even before the Hooker fight, Kamaru Usman had weighed in, predicting that an impressive and relatively quick win for Arman would significantly strengthen Ilia's case to defend his belt. Usman emphasized that Arman had looked incredibly strong since his only UFC loss to Islam Makhachev, making it hard to believe that this man can't go out there and get the job done. This insight from a former champion highlighted the high expectations placed on Arman and the ripple effect his performance would have on the division's top contenders. The pressure on Tsarukyan was immense, with his victory poised to validate a champion's range.
Yeah, I feel like I'm a fighter for the working man, you know, and kind of represent just hardworking and sticking at it and gutting things out and accomplishing what you want through that. And I feel like he's kind of just had everything handed to him and the best training and the best coaches and fly around here and just kind of had the easy road. So it's kind of just the working man versus Richie Rich.
Dan Hooker, always outspoken, had been supremely confident heading into the Arman fight, viewing it as his direct path to the #1 contender spot in a fight with Topuria. He openly stated that no one between myself and Arman Tsarukyan would want to fight Arman Tsarukyan because they got a good excuse to avoid him. Hooker believed other top fighters were using excuses like injuries to steer clear of Topuria, who he considered the most skillful fighter in the division. A win for Hooker, he argued, would allow him to jump the queue from outside the top 5 directly to the top contender position, an exciting and audacious claim.
I don't think it's just talk. Like I don't even like to say like I'll in this situation like I'll do this. Like we'll just. I feel like he is. He's just a mouthy little rich prick. You know what I mean? And I'm just not a person that backs down. That's just the situation that we're in. I feel like we'll just have to wait and see. We're just gonna have to wait and see till we see each other.
Almost like a bully, right? Like a bully. Like he's just trying to bully you. Like he's got the upper hand. And he's gonna see if he can bully you like that. And I think that is a real attitude some guys carry.
Yeah, I'm not a person that you can just push around and bully and expect to back down. I'm gonna stand my ground 10 times out of 10.
Hooker didn't mince words when describing his feelings for Arman, bluntly calling him a mouthy little rich prick. He vehemently declared, "I'm just not a person that backs down," making it clear he wouldn't be pushed around and bullied by Arman's perceived arrogance. This fiery trash talk underscored a deep personal animosity, transforming the fight into more than just a contest of skill. It became a clash of wills and personalities. Hooker's refusal to be intimidated added an intense layer of psychological warfare to their impending showdown, promising fireworks long before they stepped into the octagon.
Because you already know what he's gonna do. Because he don't give a shit about the fight being exciting. Dan Hooker likes good fights. He likes exciting fights. Dan likes to please the fans. He likes to please. Arman don't give a fuck about that, bro. He's gonna come out and grab you. He's gonna drive until the end of until the bell rings. Like, he don't care. He don't care about making it exciting. That fight, unless Dan hits him with something early and like hurts him and like can make him like kind of have to fight through some adversity, it's gonna be a boring fight.
Further fueling the rivalry, Hooker passionately articulated his identity as a fighter for the working man, contrasting it sharply with Arman, whom he portrayed as a rich, spoiled kid. He described Arman as having everything handed to him with the best training and the best coaches, enjoying an easy ride. Hooker, on the other hand, championed his own journey built on hard working and sticking out of it, overcoming adversity through sheer grit. This narrative positioned their fight as a battle between ideologies, the self-made underdog versus the privileged elite, adding a potent, relatable dimension to their clash.
I mean, it's tough to pick against Arman in this fight. Dan, I don't really see Dan having too many advantages in this fight. The only thing I can really think of as far as having an advantage in, I would say Dan has, he's got that dog in him. So if it turns into a punching match, man, Dan's going to be great there. But I just don't think Arman necessarily needs it to be a punching match. So, yeah, I would definitely got Arman on that one.
Arman, surprisingly, described the fight with Hooker as risky for himself. He explained that he had something to lose, specifically his #1 contender spot, while Hooker had nothing to lose. The stakes were clear. If he lose to me, he said, yeah, okay, I lose to #1 contender, but for me, it's 3 steps back. This calculated assessment revealed Arman's strategic mindset and the immense pressure he felt to not only win, but dominate. It was a high-risk, high-reward situation, underscoring his motivation to secure a decisive victory and maintain his upward trajectory towards championship gold.
I see Hooker has fight with Arman, and if I pass Charles, I can fight with the winner of Arman versus Hooker.
Who do you think wins that fight?
I think Arman has more chance to win this fight because he's more all-rounder fighter, you know. Good wrestler, strong, good jiu-jitsu, good striking movement. So I think 60-40 for Arman, he can beat Hooker.
Looking beyond the immediate challenge, Arman unveiled his ambitious long-term plans for the lightweight division. He declared his intention to stay here and beat all records in 55 pounds for the next 2 to 3 years before even considering a move to another weight class. His goal was clear: to become an undeniable legend at lightweight, much like Islam Makhachev had before him. This focused dedication to a single division showcased his commitment and belief in his ability to dominate, setting a formidable target for himself and putting the rest of the 55-pound roster on notice.
Bro, I like both fighters. I think Tsarukyan gonna win because he's more complete. He's have a good striker. And he's a good striker, have a good grappling also, but I like more than Hooker, you know, his style. I like more.
Former UFC champion Mahal Hill predicted an Arman victory, emphasizing Tsarukyan's unapologetic grind mentality. Hill noted that Arman don't give a shit about the fight in terms of putting on an entertaining spectacle, instead focusing solely on grind until the end of the bell. This contrasted sharply with Hooker, who likes to be a fight because he likes to fight, aiming to please the fans. Hill warned that unless Hooker could hurt him early and make him have to fight through adversity, the matchup would likely devolve into a boring fight, a testament to Arman's relentless, unflashy effectiveness.
Well, I want to see Dan Hooker win, but again, I think it's very similar, right? Like Arman can grapple his ass off and he's got great conditioning. It's whether or not Dan's going to be able to withstand that for the duration, right? So I want Dan to win, like, but I can't bet with my heart. so I have to say Arman will win. But I want Dan Hooker to win.
Benail Darius also leaned towards Arman, acknowledging the formidable challenge of picking against him. Darius struggled to identify too many advantages for Dan Hooker, with the only real exception being Hooker's inherent dog in him should the fight somehow turn into a pure punching match. However, Darius quickly dismissed this scenario, stating, "I just don't think Arman necessarily needs it to be a punching match." This analysis highlighted Arman's strategic intelligence, suggesting he would dictate the terms of engagement and negate Hooker's striking prowess, ultimately favoring Tsarukyan to come out on top.
Yeah, I'm with Arman Tsarukyan. I think he's gonna win that fight. I think he has more how I can say you like complete game. He can wrestling, he can jiu-jitsu, he can striking. I think he like fighter, he like more better. And I think he more hungry, you know, like he long time don't fight. Here he's on the title shot and he pull out. He sit on the freezer for like 2 years, almost 2 years, yeah. And now he coming back. I think this guy hungry.
Medios Gamrot, who had a razor-close fight with Hooker, gave Arman a 60-40 edge, citing Tsarukyan's more all-rounder fighter skill set. Gamrot praised Arman's combination of good wrestler strong, good jiu-jitsu, good striking movement, believing this comprehensive arsenal would be the decisive factor. This prediction, coming from a fighter who intimately understood Hooker's capabilities, carried significant weight, reinforcing the widespread professional consensus that Arman's multifaceted game was simply too much for his opponent. The odds were clearly in Tsarukyan's favor, reflecting his superior versatility.
That was a great performance.
Gamrot further elaborated on Hooker's underrated qualities, admitting their previous fight was a close fight that could have gone either way. He even suggested that if Gamrot had a bigger name, the judges might have favored his control time. However, Gamrot also gave Hooker credit for significantly improving his takedown defense and his ability to scramble up from takedowns, noting he was a lot better at it than he was before. This nuanced perspective showcased Hooker's evolution, yet still positioned Arman as the more likely victor despite the improvements. Delving deeper into Arman's ground game, Gamrot asserted that Tsarukyan was superior to himself in implementing dominant positions on top. He specifically highlighted Arman's ability to actually doing something with it once he gains control, unlike others who might secure takedowns but lack effective follow-up. Gamrot predicted Arman would take down Dan Hooker and ultimately finish him in round 2 or 3 from the mount with ground and pound. This detailed forecast underscored Arman's finishing instincts and grappling dominance, painting a clear picture of how the fight was expected to unfold. Carlos Prates, another professional fighter, offered his take, expressing respect for both competitors but ultimately leaning towards Arman. Prates highlighted Tsarukyan's more complete skill set, acknowledging his proficiency as a good striker and he's a good grappler also. Beyond technical abilities, Prates stated, "I like him more than Hooker. I know his style. I like more." This personal preference, rooted in an appreciation for Arman's overall fighting approach, added another layer to the widespread professional belief in Tsarukyan's impending victory. The consensus was building. Anthony Hernandez's coach, Jim West, admitted a personal bias, stating, "I want to see Dan Hooker win." However, he quickly tempered his emotional wish with a realistic assessment, acknowledging that Arman's grappling his eyes off, and he's got great conditioning, where significant advantages. West identified the real challenge for Hooker as whether he could withstand that for the duration of the fight. Despite his heart pulling for Hooker, West ultimately conceded, "I can't bet with my heart, so I have to say Arman will win," a stark illustration of Arman's undeniable technical superiority. Walter Walker also sided with Arman, emphasizing Tsarukyan's more complete game encompassing wrestling, jiu-jitsu, and striking. Beyond the technical attributes, Walker pointed to Arman's hungry motivation, a crucial factor stemming from his long layoff after pulling out of a potential title shot. This period of waiting, which felt like almost 2 years, had only intensified Arman's drive. Walker concluded, "I think he's going home," suggesting Arman's hunger and well-rounded skills would be too much for Hooker to overcome, cementing his path forward. Arman Tsarukyan's dominant win wasn't just a personal triumph. It was a seismic shift that instantly reshaped the entire lightweight division, forging undeniable pathways to future mega fights. From the post-fight drama with Ilia Topuria to the intricate dance of contender matchups, Arman's performance ignited a powder keg of rivalries and opportunities. The talk of Topuria vs. Himblet, with Arman fighting the winner, combined with his own eagerness for a quick turnaround, has set the stage for an unforgettable era. This victory didn't just earn him a spot at the top, it crowned him the architect of the division's thrilling, unpredictable future, promising explosive confrontations that will captivate the MMA world for years to come.